This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. You know, I've about had it with these Fox News Trump Republicans who think they have a monopoly on patriotism, who think that they have cornered the market on love of country. They scream and yell about cancel culture and liberals being averse to other viewpoints, but they are the ones who require allegiance in their particular way. Their flavor of patriotism is the only one that's allowed. Tucker Carlson last night took to his stupid Fox News program and attacked, not just Joe Biden, he attacked Tammy Duckworth, veteran, disabled veteran, lost both of her legs fighting for this country. And he asserted that she hates America. Before he did so, though, he called Donald Trump's speech in front of the Mount Rushmore, he called it eloquent. Need I remind anyone how the speech went? Need I remind you that Donald Trump can't even string together sentences when they're written down on a teleprompter, inches from his face? Remember this moment.
This is the very definition of totalitarianism, and it is completely alien to our culture and to our values.
Super eloquent, Tucker. And then in his screed, he started attacking Democrats about their hatred for America. And how can they lead when they have a deep loathing for its people? I'm going to start by playing. He starts by talking about Joe Biden's 4th of July message. And then he goes from there, and I'll start and stop as needed.
So where's Joe Biden on all of this as the revolution continues apace? Biden is supposed to be a moderate, remember? That was his chief appeal. But there was nothing moderate about Biden's 4th of July statement. Instead, it was a full-throated attack on the United States.
Our country was founded on an idea. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. We've never lived up to it. Jefferson himself didn't. He held slaves. Women were excluded. American history is no fairy tale. It's been a constant push and pull between the two parts of our character. The idea that all men and women, all people are created equal, and the racism that has torn us apart. We have a chance to rip the roots of systemic racism out of this country.
That's your 4th of July message? Systemic racism? Something you can't even define, that has no real definition? Really? Wagging your finger in the face of the nation that promoted someone as mediocre as you to the position you currently hold? This is the man who could soon be our figurehead.
How is that in any way wagging his finger in the face of the nation? First of all, Tucker, you white supremacist goon, systemic racism is absolutely a thing. Pick up a history book, brother. From slavery to Jim Crow to convict leasing to redlining to police brutality to disparate the health outcomes for Black Americans. Shut your stupid mouth, you clown, you trust fund goon. Jefferson owned other human beings. To say so is not hatred for America. Jefferson also serially raped at least one of his slaves. Sally Hemings, pick up a history book, you googly-eyed feather duster. If Biden is mediocre, if Joe Biden is mediocre, what does that make you, Tucker Carlson? You trust fund tool, you do-nothing rich brat who's never accomplished anything on his own merits since your conception. Nothing. Now this is where my blood pressure starts to rise. As a United States Marine, I believe that veterans are a special type of American, sacrificing. Not better, but special, different. And for Tucker Carlson, someone who did not ever serve, has never served his country, to assert that Tammy Duckworth, Senator Tammy Duckworth, doesn't love her country, isn't patriotic, hates, in fact, he uses the word, is disgusting. Watch this.
But how about the actual presidential candidate, whoever Biden picks as his VP running mate? Senator Tammy Duckworth of Illinois is a top contender for the job. You're not supposed to criticize Tammy Duckworth in any way because she once served in the military. Most people just ignore her. But when Duckworth does speak in public, you're reminded what a deeply silly and unimpressive person she is. Here's Tammy Duckworth from over the weekend telling us it's time to get rid of George Washington.
I know that you support changing the name of military bases named after Confederate leaders, but there are leaders like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson who were slave owners, and some people are demanding that their monuments come down too. So in your view, where does it end? Should statues, for example, of George Washington come down?
Well, let me just say that we should start off by having a national dialogue on it at some point.
A national dialogue, please. They're not looking for any kind of a colloquy. What they want is a soliloquy. We speak, you shut up and listen. So what to make of all of this? Well, it's long been considered out of bounds to question a person's patriotism. It's a very strong charge, and we try not ever to make it. But in the face of all of this, the conclusion can't be avoided. These people actually hate America. There's no longer a question about that. And yet, paradoxically, at the same time, they desperately want to control America more than anything. And that leads to the most basic of all questions. Can you really lead a country that you hate?
So according to Tucker having done nothing in his life, Carlson, Tammy Duckworth is silly and unimpressive. This double amputee, combat veteran, who lost her legs fighting for the country she apparently hates, in service to her nation, she's so unimpressive. Let's let her talk about her story and how she lost her legs.
I was a battle captain and assistant operations officer. Twice a week, I got to go outside the wire, and twice a week, I got to fly missions. And I lived for those 2 days a week when I could be doing the thing that I loved the most, which is flying. Dan Milberg, the pilot in command of the aircraft, was somebody who's a Desert Storm veteran. And so we flew an entire day's mission. And we were headed back home, and we got a call to detour and pick up some passengers. Instead of the multiple passengers, there was just one there. We picked him up, and we were headed back. And just, flying about 10 feet above the trees, standard mission profile, maybe 15 minutes back from home base, and we got hit by a rocket-propelled grenade. The blast from the RPG going off vaporized my right leg, and the force of the blast kicked my left leg up into the instrument panel of the aircraft and amputated it. And it blew off the entire back of my right arm.
Not an impressive person? Not an impressive person? You prep school douche canoe? You haircut? Shut your mouth. Your way of loving the country isn't the only way, Tucker. Tammy Duckworth, without any reservations, absolutely loves her country, is a patriot. And you're in no position, zero position, to assert otherwise, because you don't have the medal, little boy. It would serve you best to shut your mouth. You whiny white supremacist. How dare you? How dare you? Anyway, for the rest of you, if you're still here, thank you. And I would love to know what you think. You can email me, daily@dollemore.com. Give me a ring. And of course, if you're in a position to do so, I would appreciate your support, helping support independent media voices just like mine. For fewer than $2 a month, you can click the button, join, be a channel member. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I hope you are as fired up about this as I am and ready to move forward this November and get rid of all of these idiots, all of these Trump sycophants. Do not do business with Tucker Carlson's sponsors, please. Anyway, I'm out. Thank you. Be genuine. Take care of one another.